Good evening from InvestSharp.com. It is Sunday, July 18th, and this is Randy Smotone with your weekly watch list. I guess I should have said good night since it's pretty late. So, the market got pretty nasty Friday, and I encourage everyone to keep positions small and trading light, and kind of see where we go from here. Futures haven't bounced much as of yet, anyway. But the MACD is turned back up a little bit on the ES on the futures, S&P 500 futures. So of course the short, I'm going to kind of do bullish, some bearish, and triangles. Bullish, of course, SH is bullish. It seems it's been holding this trend line here pretty well, and it's above all the moving averages. Next is your this is 3 times large cap. Big bounce again, bouncing from this uptrend line. Volume coming in. Does have the 200-day above that could be some resistance, but maybe not, because it was here and here, but it wasn't here. So another one to keep your eye on. Small cap 3 times, TZA, and again it's in this kind of a channel up, bouncing back and forth, and actually made a little higher low there. So another one to watch. FAZ, and of course this is the financial, and of course if we have a bounce tomorrow, you can play the FAS, which would be along the financials instead of the inverse funds. FAZ, huge move, 12.15% Friday. So again, it's kind of holding here, and give the market some time in the morning to set up and see where we're going to go. I'd give it at least the first 30 minutes to an hour, see what we're going to do. Next, Baidu. Baidu's holding up pretty well, actually. It's above its 30 and 50. It's above its moving averages here, and it didn't have that much volume as far as selling goes. So actually, it's holding up pretty well. So I think it's worth a watch. CCJ, I think this is bottomed. It broke out, strong volume here. It's had a lot of volume coming in. It did pull back, so we need to wait and see what happens here. See if it takes out this low or if it bounces off this trend line. But it is above its 50 and 30 and the 20-day moving averages here. So next, Ivanhoe Mines, big breakout several days ago, huge volume. It is holding that trend line there, the resistance line where it broke out. It did bounce off that, so another one worth a watch. It's above all its moving averages. Net Appliance, NetApp, they tried to sell it. Volume picked up quite a bit Friday. Tried to sell it, didn't move. So it's nice, tight little, just kind of horizontal movement here. So I think it's worth a watch as far as along. Buffalo Wild Wings, it's at resistance, but it didn't sell off much Friday. So let's see if it breaks out, at least gets up to this 42.50 here where the 200-day moving average is. FXP, inverse China here, ultra short, huge move. Does have the 50, the 200 has moving averages above it. Could be some resistance, but it did break out of this triangle on Friday. Owens on Semiconductor. It tried to break out and got trapped here. This is the gold line's the 50-day moving average, but good volume coming in, and it seemed like it wants to break out. So I think it's worth a watch, even though it has been making lower highs and lower lows. Deere, we've been watching this one as well. It's still holding the breakout pretty well out of this triangle, along with the chemical, the fertilizer stocks. We've been watching this network stocks. KVM is still holding right there. Still looks pretty good. This semi, Volterra, still holding up pretty well, above all the moving averages. GMCR, another one's holding up pretty well. Priceline, it's just been, it held up well Friday. F5 Network still holding up well. Superior Energy Services, it does have the 200-day above it as well as the 150. Could be some resistance here. Nice volume though. Looks like it had a double bottom breakout here, so worth watching. Netflix, of course, still strong, still holding up pretty well. Didn't really didn't sell off that much Friday, so it looks pretty decent still. This Omega Healthcare is still looking real good above the support area. Of course, pot, talked about that, still holding up well after these fertilizers started moving. CF still looking pretty good. Aruba Networks still looking pretty good. This Greenbrier companies we talked about last week, the 50 is right here underneath it, the gold line, and if you can possibly watch it and maybe possibly pick it up in this area. This did break out on earnings, so I would expect it to be able to go long on this at some point soon. Broadcom's, it's still trying to hold up around that 36 area, so it still looks fine. Medifast, pretty much sideways, still looks all right. IOC, still holding up pretty good on Friday. Tata Motors, they don't seem to want to sell it, still looking pretty good. Over to some bearish ideas. Precision Cast Parts, I talked about this. It kind of looks like the S&P and the rest of the indices, so because it does look like it has this head and shoulders top here on it. But it did run into the resistance right here, and it's got the 50 and the 200 right there above it, and it did sell pretty hard Friday, so it's probably retrace at least back down here to this 101 or so area. So it's looking kind of bearish. Infosys Technologies was in this triangle formation. It did break down, had earnings, huge selling on earnings, and it is breaking down, so it's looking pretty bearish. ABX Barrick Gold looks like it's broken this longer term uptrend line, even though the volume wasn't real heavy to the sell side. So let's just watch it here in this area, but it did break a longer term uptrend line. Apache, it's another one that's have to wait and watch, see what it does. You know, it hasn't, if I can go out far enough, you know, it's got support around this 82.75 area, but they've been selling it pretty hard. But it's got some pretty good support that goes back into 2009, back to a year ago. Fastenal broke down Friday after earnings, looking pretty bad for that one. ROST, come on. Ross Stores, looks like it's breaking down from this 53, volumes picking up. It's not looking too good for Ross Stores, so it's worth watching short. Skechers, you know, it's already broken down enough now that maybe possibly if you can catch it back up in here on a bounce, you might want to try to catch it short again. Then here's some triangles. Auto Leave or whatever this is, or Auto Live, or however it's pronounced. I've never heard of it. And but it's got 600 and some, over 1 million sometimes. So, but it is in this. Could be an ascending triangle. It's got a little triangle here as well. That was, even though it was down over 3%, there was no volume on selling Friday. So it seems like it wants to go up, not down, even though it did pull back. Super light volume. Another triangle is this. This is ultra short crude, so you need to watch this. Another one of these. It's got the triangle here. Also has an ascending type triangle to it as well. So it needs to, you know, we need to either catch it down here or up here. Another triangle, Accenture, had great earnings here, huge volume coming in, nice triangle setup, not any heavy selling going on yet, so we might want to try to catch it down here at the 30 and go long possibly. Asia broke out, and it's sitting right there around that 24.50. Let's see where it goes from here. It's gotten quite a ways off its 30. Caterpillar still in this longer term triangle, still working it out, possibly go long here. I mean, right now, you know, long here, short here has been working, so eventually it's going to either break down here or break to the upside once it works through this triangle. Diamond Offshore, and another one that's in a triangle pattern. Goodrich triangle, which kind of looks like it might probably gonna, we'll see. I think it's might break to the downside, but we'll see. MACDs have been kind of iffy when the market moved. This Hess, it looks like a longer term descending triangle, but I like how the MACD is making higher lows. So we'll just see where this goes. Let's see what the moving average is. Yeah, well, it really needs to break out here and then possibly get back up to 200 or catch it down possibly further down here, but I'm still watching this one. It's not ready to go yet though. Old Dominion Freight, another triangle to watch. Again, you need to, short here, long here until it breaks down or breaks out here one way or the other. Westport Innovations did break out on Thursday and held up really well here on as support. So possibly long that one, depending on what the market does here tomorrow and the next couple of days. Akamai, another triangle. Not really wanting to sell it heavily, but did make a lower high, which isn't good. So we'll have to see where it goes as well. And then here's what I just covered, and that's really all I have for you. It just, it's kind of need to wait and see what the market's going to do the next few days. So wouldn't do a lot of trading. And a lot of news coming out too. We've got that EU bank stress test results, I think July 23rd, Friday. So we'll be watching for that as well. That could be kind of wild week. Alrighty, thanks for